Well, today, after class, you will amaze your friends and humble your enemies by knowing everything there is to know about anaphora, epistrophe, and simplicity.
Anaphora, epistrophe, and simplicity are not the things a typical student is dying to learn, but this would certainly spark their interest. In the previous module, you learned how to change 3 factors in order to affect a student's motivation to learn. Those factors were level of concern, feeling tone, and increased success. In this module, you learned 2 more factors that affect motivation. A very obvious one is interest. We're all interested in learning that which is new or novel or appeals to us. Now, interest is not generic, it's learned. And we can promote that interest as we relate what we're teaching to the student himself and as we include novelty or vividness in our teaching. For example, the terms anaphora, epistrophe, and simplicity are new to most of us. And if they're going to help us, we're ready to learn them. Skilled teachers use both novelty and the relationship of the material to the student to make learning vivid and exciting and increase students' motivation to learn.
Think about the people around you, people you know, people you hear about. What are common kinds of conflicts that you're aware of most of the time?
Generation gap.
Okay, that's a good one, the generation gap. Or I imagine for most students, that boils down to what? Parent-child conflicts, doesn't it? Okay.
Pat uses students' own life conflicts to increase their motivation to explore conflicts in literature.
Can anyone think of any particular kinds of conflicts that come up under this category? Okay, fine. You, the child, want your freedom, you want to be more independent, you want to live your life the way you like to, so you want to move out and be on your own. That causes a conflict for many reasons. Maybe your parents just don't want you to do it. They have the conflicts of thinking that their child is leaving the nest and so on, or they may be worried about the way you're going to live. That's one of the more serious kinds of conflicts, isn't it? What others can you think of?
As students become weary with the drill necessary in foreign language, Mark introduces new and novel information to relieve the monotony.
Another thing that Vienna is very well known for is its coffee. Coffee mezzana is what they're probably referring to here anyway. Of course, in Vienna they call it Schlag. They have a different word for it. And this all goes back to the 17th century, 1683. They had the Turks had come up through Europe, Eastern Europe, and had conquered as they came. They got to Vienna, and they laid siege to the city for a year or so, and no one else from Europe came to help them out. They had to fight it out themselves. And finally, they succeeded in driving away the Turks, and the Turks left their tents full of all this coffee. They'd never seen it before. So they tried it out, and it's pretty good. So now in Vienna, every other building is a coffee shop. And you can go in there and you order, they have about 30 different types, you know, depending on how much cream's in it or what else they might put in it and different brews of it and everything. They're really connoisseurs. So if, you know, you ever get to Vienna, something to try. Another principle that, and this was one of these things I think is more intuitive than knowledgeable, was the idea of relating it to the people in the class. Now these books, of course, are written for a broad audience, so all the questions are talking about some Herr Schmidt that no one knows. And so I found it very valuable to on occasion, use examples or questions involving members of the class. And it's really good, like, say for example, we want to learn articles of clothing. It's always good to ask them, what are you wearing today, or what is this person wearing today? First of all, maybe describing some of the things, I'll point out someone and say, now this person here is wearing a sweater, or this person is wearing a shirt, you know. And that way I think they're going to remember it more because they're thinking, yes, I'm wearing a shirt, and I'm being pointed out. And the other people know this person, so they associate too.
Let's see just this half of the room. Now everyone else watch the people performing it and pretend that you're auditioning them for your piece and that this is the core of the piece. This is the main movement phrase that keeps repeated over and over again because it's so brilliant. And you want to make sure that
Susan increases her students' interest by introducing the notion of an audition.
Here we go.
This also raises each student's concern about improving her own performance.
Da, 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 da. Okay, if there were any little discrepancies, check them out and apply them to your own performance.
As you have seen, these teachers added novelty to their class and related the material to the students to increase their motivation to learn.